the real things in life you cannot touch. Anything you can touch is replaceable. Happiness is the real thing, and nobody's going to put a shadow on my sunshine.
When a woman confronts her loneliness, she's free.
When I was little, I had this beautiful box, and this box held secrets. Secrets that couldn't be shared. I remember the first time I opened it. It's always been a symbol of my life, whether to open the box or not.
Such the most hyper girl I know.
But you took me to a very exotic location.
Love being on planet Amanda with you. For legal reasons, I cannot say.
If everyone in this were dead, I wouldn't get into trouble. Well, I'm prepared for trouble. I should start at the beginning. I was born in the Lebanon. I'm a healthy size 0 with breasts, have a great appetite, take pills instead of booze, laugh a lot, cry a lot, and argue a lot. I'm approaching a certain age. I shall know if you tell. I know everything. In photographs, I look better, but there's something about the top of my neck. I'm an attractive woman. Some say beautiful. And when I look in the mirror, I nod in a pleased with myself kind of way. Because in a certain light,
I don't look more than 28.
anyhow, I have no intention of letting go. By the way, when a woman offers you pudding, beware. They want to steal your husband.
You're my most glamorous, fabulous, amazing friend. But more than anything,
to show that a new friend is the best friend.
because you are a new friend and you're a very good, close, best friend already, and I love you. Impersonation of getting on the scales, and what you do is you stand on them like this, you see your weight, and then you try and fly to make it lighter.
Sometimes you need a little help to capture the man of your dreams. Sometimes it takes a little more than luck. I must get it right. I have to get it right. I want to be in love. It has to be the real thing. Then you can't make one mistake. You have to listen carefully and have some good intentions.
Of course it's going to work. It always works. It never fails at all. You know exactly what you're going to ask for. How can you ask me if it works? Of course it works. I'm the best.
When I was 5, I was sent away to boarding school. Mummy dressed me in a skirt that she'd made for me. It had too many pleats and made me look fat.
I don't make you look fat. Yes, it does.
I was put in a room with girls 2 years older than me.
Forced me to go to the bathroom and pulled my hair down the loo.
And when we played masters and servants, I was their slave. They beat me. This happened regularly. They left red marks on my skin. I used to offer them sweets, but still they didn't like me. Mummy saw the marks and complained, so I swapped rooms. It was fun in a way. I used to stand on top of the fire escape and show my knickers to the world. I was beaten for that. And at breakfast, I'd gobble down 5 pieces of bread and jam, sometimes even more. The headmistress noticed and shouted across the room, "If you carry on like this, we will be the size of a house." Am I, darlings? The size of a house. When I was 8, Mummy sent me up the lane to fetch eggs. I collected them from our gardener. He took me into the shed, where he tied me up and licked me. Afterwards, he gave me 10 shillings. Well, I told my friends about it, and they were interested, so I took them along and hid them in the bushes. In the end, I told Mummy, and she called the police. And they came with sirens blaring and brakes screeching outside our house. It was a village of 5 houses. They took away my pants. Of course, I hid the ones I'd worn. And they checked my virginity as well. I didn't want to tell the truth then because the gardener's wife was my nanny. I never saw her again. The newspapers called me a child and a whore. The gardener told me to come back to him when I was 14. He was 76 years old, toothless, and he wore a cap.
Fucking hell. All I remember the most was how young the willy looked. It didn't age. Anyway, I know how to be a country girl.
But darling, I was playing you. When I was 9, I wanted to be an opera singer. Well, Mummy was. Well, I wanted to be the best. But I wasn't. Well, after all, who could be callous? Or Mummy, even. But I knew I could make people stop and listen when I sang The Holly and the Ivy or Domine Deus, especially in church. I used to sing in Bath Abbey. I liked the furthest seat on the right, where I could watch everyone's hearts stop. We're in church. And when I got home, I'd sing myself to sleep. Mummy was pretty, but she always looked a mess. She only liked dogs in her singing pupils. I didn't like her smell. It was a mixture of dog poo and disinfectant. And there were always sheep's heads boiling on her stove, spitting into my porridge. She'd give me huge mounds of food while she ate the meat from the sheep's skulls. And that ruined anything she put before me.
To think I once bred dogs. When they got old, I gave them away.
And when I fought with my brother, which was all the time, she'd hit me with dog leads. But I wanted to kill him, not her. When he was born, my grandmother said I hated him. It's not surprising, really. To hide what they thought from me, they spoke in French. They said how clever and how good-looking he was. Well, I understood their French. It was unfair. Well, I hated him because he always got me into trouble. But because he had these angelic looks, he got away with it. Once he stole a bottle of my grandfather's champagne, and I got blamed for it. And then I found it in his music box, so I told. For that, he had all his hair shaved off. But Mummy cried as she did it. I had to go to second-rate schools whilst he went to the best and did no work. Ha ha ha. He failed and was chucked out. I don't know why I didn't like Mummy, but I didn't. She always had chipped nail varnish, and her nails were ingrained with mud. She was untidy and kept piles of dirty, scrunched-up tissues under her bed. When I was 4, my brother and I were locked in a bedroom. We often needed to pee, but we weren't let out. So we found this hat box. With my mother's precious wedding veil wrapped glamorously in white tissue paper, and peed in it. 5 years later, Mummy found it.
You've got the divine fluid from the divine being.
All what I do for love.
Follow the instructions completely. If you add anything or leave anything out, you'll get a result, but not the one you want. On your altar, describe everything you want, bless your bottle, and then it's off to the graveyard.
She had this beautiful pale green wedding dress that she cut up, made into coat hangers. The coat hangers were very pretty, but come on, it was her wedding dress. I want to wear the green one.
You're an idiot. You should wear cream. Green is bad luck. Wear the cream one. You look good.
It's bad luck to wear green as a wedding dress. If you're superstitious. I'm not. I think green's a lot better colour than cream. Beautiful. They say she was a nymphomaniac, always fucking her friends' husbands and fathers. They say that after she left my father, I refused to speak to her for ages. But she taught me to sing.
For fuck's sake, sing tune!
I liked my grandfather. He always looked after me. He taught me to read Shakespeare and watch movies, and spend Saturday and Sunday mornings in his study. It was untidy, full of papers. He could never find anything. I used to sit on his lap whilst he talked about life and his filmmaking. He became a film director because one day he came home from school and someone asked him what he wanted to be when he was older. And because he didn't know, he said that he wanted to be in films. And the following week, he was working in films. You could do that then. He called me his favourite Lebanese granddaughter. I couldn't watch him die.
He didn't want me to be an actress because he said otherwise it would be like I was being a hooker. The best money I ever spent was going to drama school. My father was a bit of a monkey, really, and he had invited me to go to the States and said that he would pay for everything. So he said, stay in the Pierre Hotel, and he told me to stay there for 7 weeks. And he said he would pay for my hotel bill, and he never did. And when it came to paying the bill, he said he didn't have any money. I said, what? I just couldn't believe it.
I admired my father. These are his ashes. He wrote books. He wrote the truth. Well, how he saw the truth. I saw him only 10 times in my life. I wrote to him at his publisher's. He rang me from Heathrow Airport, and I met him there. I could see what my mother had seen in him. He was gorgeous. Just the sort of man I'd fancy now. Mummy said he lived with a gun under his pillow. She said that writers were difficult to live with. But she also said, compared to him, all the other men in her life had been boring. He was never boring. He told me Mummy had been unfaithful to him. He was terrible with money. And alcohol. I don't care what the truth is. I liked him. And I liked his hands. Because they were like mine. So, darlings, I got on with my life. I allowed myself to get fat, have spots, be a teenager. I acted gloomy, depressed, poleaxed and lazy. It was as if I'd taken a pill to be permanently horizontal. I was only happy writing slushy letters to boys or watching documentaries. The more horrific, the better. Of course, I wasn't allowed these luxuries and was made to watch Dallas or Dynasty or some fake Jane Austen. So I'd sneak up to my room and dream of good things. I knew inside I'd be okay. I just knew it. It's better to be fat than lose your virginity. The boy was American. We kissed to this song. I liked being kissed. Then he wrote, and I didn't like that. So I hid the letters and told him not to write again. He was good looking. I often think about him. When I was 14, I was picked up on the school bus.
Picked up?
I didn't like him, but I asked him home. He fancied my best friend, the thin one with the long legs.
Typical.
Well, one night, I let him try and fuck me in the swimming pool.
A lot.
But he couldn't get it in.
Why couldn't he get it in?
Well, you know, he couldn't find it. Of course, I thought I was pregnant. Mummy went mad. She did a pregnancy test on me and made me stay in all holiday. So I stayed in bed in my room all the time and listened to opera. I decorated my room red. It looked bad. I wanted to be bad. I decided to marry. I chose an Etonian. Well, my best friend's boyfriend was at Eton, so I kissed him, and he asked me out. He told me he loved me, and after that he never rang. wanted to lose my virginity. So I visited my best friend. I crept up to her brother's room and lay on his bed. It was over very quickly. He said if I got pregnant, to call his sister and the white stuff would disappear.
Don't cry! Oh, come on, have some humour.
I sort of loved him. I loved his name and his status as an Etonian. He went into the army. I must have been the ultimate nightmare for Mummy. I started to think about acting, but then I found George. I saw him across a field and became his wife.
I was married here. I was married here. We were married here.
He told me, "You are a box of matches, and I'm going to light them up." Well, darlings, my matches were soon extinguished. 7 years I slaved for him because he looked like Hugh Grant. But we fought all the time, and I hated sex with him. He called me honeypot, and I called him honey pie. Can you imagine? Marriage with him was so bloody boring, and yet there was so much to do. Cooking, cleaning, washing, watching afternoon television. With accounts at Peter Jones and Wallace. No interests, and no interest at all. I tried to find a lover, but I couldn't.
I was cooking for one dinner party, and as I was cooking, 10 couples came and saying, "We're so sorry, we're so sorry." And I said, "What the hell's going on? Everybody's saying I'm so sorry." And they said, "Well, your marriage is over and he's left." And I said, "He's left?" I thought I was a really good wife, and so I swore to myself then, as he'd left with me cooking up a storm in the kitchen, that I'd never cook for another man.
In the end, he left me for a secretary that worked for the man opposite. I was so relieved. But then I began to understand about life's ups and downs. I started to think about acting. But now I wanted to work, proper work, so that I could be independent and free.
I went to work for this florist called Ken, and he was extremely famous, and I had begged him for a job. Unfortunately, he gave me a job as an accountant, and you can imagine I wasn't great at maths, so shortly afterwards I found that his boyfriend was stealing, and when I went to tell him, he gave me the sack. So I went on holiday.
I was in Santa Monica when I saw the best-looking man in my life. He was blonde, tall, so good-looking, with children running around him. Well, I opened the Times, and my eyes spiraled down to this job as a receptionist or secretary in an investment bank. And somehow, I just knew that this good-looking man would be there. And when I rang, they said, "The boss is in Santa Monica this week." And I said, "Just give me the job." Well, the first day that I arrived, there was the god. But I wasn't allowed to work for him. The head secretary, some dreary girl with brown hair, said I'd be working for some upstart who was very difficult, and that I had to be good at typing. And I thought, shit. So I sat on the edge of his desk and told him,
I don't know how to type.
In that case, then, dinner, Thursday, 8 o'clock. I'll send my driver.
He invited me out for lunch. He had a secret sense of humor.
And so I rang up Johan, who was in the opposite hotel, and he said, "Don't worry, I will come." And he was like my knight in shining armor, and he paid my bill, and I gave him back his money on my wedding day. Well, I proposed to my husband because I just thought it was time to get married. And when I was about 25, I'd just getting divorced anyway, and I thought I'd better get married on my ex-husband's birthday. I thought that was a good idea. He didn't even react. So I get to his mother, and I ring up his mother, and I said, you know, we're going to get married roughly next week, maybe the next 2 weeks. That was the only time that Johan looked up, and he looked absolutely amazed, and he looked down and carried on writing. He didn't say no, so I knew it was on.
So I married. I knew he was clever. I knew he was kind, that he'd do well, that he'd understand, and that he'd be good in bed. And that I wasn't in love. Because he was. Well, I believed in him, but I knew I'd be trouble. You see, he wanted to be a politician, and I just wanted to be outspoken me. He really didn't think when he married me. What he really needed was a crazy, ambitious bimbo that gave him blowjobs all the time, not a girl that wanted to achieve. Anyhow, I was always taught never to give blowjobs. They're revolting and common. Always pay someone else to do them. Except perhaps for this painting. But being married meant that I could try acting. I did a course with the Moscow Arts Theatre, discovering Chekhov.
Now, I should have listened to my Russian friends, because I could have been playing here at this magnificent theatre, the Moscow Arts Theatre.
You know, the Russians have some wonderful sayings. The moment a woman learns to be ugly, she becomes interesting. Well, I worked my way around Oxford, the university and the town.
Since you've got so good looking, Alex, I might get the shark to go through your roof. It'll be me.
Diving into shops whenever I could. Well, I love shopping, so every afternoon, I used to learn my lines this way. Well, the Muscovites must have had me followed. They hauled me in and said, "We're impressed with you learning your lines this way. Come to Moscow and study with us, and we'll make you the actress you should be." Well, again and again, they asked me to Moscow, but I'd just got married, and it didn't seem right to go and live there.
I don't think I've ever queued in the whole of my life. I don't wait. And now I'm behind about 30 people. There's no way that I can go past them unless I bribe them, and all the Russians love money, so maybe I can give them a tenner or two.
It was chilly in the east. There's something about it frightened me. So I didn't take up their offer.
And had I gone there, I reckon I'd be on the stage now. Because I used to take endless notes. I've got notes on how to speak. I've got notes on how to walk. I've got notes on how to learn lines. I've got notes coming out of my ears on how to even breathe properly. None of which I do, and none of which I intend to do. They might have made a good actress out of me. But anyway, last year at Christmas, I had dinner with the translator, who's one of my best friends. I said, you know, I got into the Moscow Arts Theatre. Wasn't that fantastic? And we were reminiscing. He said, yes, but you only got in because you were pretty. It wasn't any other reason.
I'm going to do the ritual for love.
Tetra, gram, mutt, Tom. Let me in.
Let me in.
I call on you, my elemental beast, to do my bidding as I command.
Rich? Rich in spirit, mind, and body.
Am I
and
rich?
physically. Is it helpful?
I like beautiful things.
I like beautiful things.
We're both going to be so happy. Yes, we have to look for a child in the graveyard. They have to be anything before, I don't know, 20, because they need to be a virgin, and before 1850.
I love the mobile. I like to know what people think of me. And you can tell by the mobile. It's a barometer for being liked. I can telephone a man 15 times and see whether he likes me. If he's ratty and difficult when I call, he's not for me. So many people used to be in my house. I used to look around the room and think, I'm paying for every sponger in the world. The only person I used to speak to was my cleaner. She was called Magdalena. And she said that in Romania, she'd been a star. Well, one day, out of the blue, she came round with an application form for RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, and the best drama school in England. And she said, "Go and do this." And I said, "I'd rather do anything but this." She said if I didn't do it, I'd be nothing in life. So I went.
It taught me to be resilient. It taught me to learn lines for auditions. It taught me to be depressed. I've never been so depressed as a drama school. But this drama school had something special about it. It had beautiful walls and it had amazing rooms. It had some soul.
I'm not going to be some old blonde strolling down Sunset Boulevard with my makeup hanging down. No. I'm going to be like Marilyn Monroe and fuck the president and die.
When I was pregnant, I used to skip down the street thinking that I was carrying Jesus. And, you know, I talked to him like Jesus. And when he was born, my husband and I, we used to look at him like this and we used to say, "Definitely Jesus." So it's so funny, you know, because he's still Jesus to me.
My first professional job was running on Brighton Beach. My great leading part, non-speaking. I had to run up and down past the camera all day. Well, I think my husband had bribed someone to give me the part. The part. And later, it was cut. I gave it my all, and my precious footage ended up on the floor. I suppose my marriage became a fight around then.
I'm walking along the street, and my husband tells me, "Fuck off, I never want to see you ever again." And I say, and I'm sort of crying and everything else, and the Italians love tears. And I'm walking along, and the 5 boys stop and say, "Do you want to come away for 3 days with us on a boat?" And I say, "Yes, why not?" And I just get on the boat because I don't know why I thought it was safe. It was safe. And I spent 3 nights with them. I can't remember anything about it. I certainly didn't get up to no good. And when I came back to the shore, there was my ex-husband sitting, waiting for me on the wall. That was quite funny, actually.
Now I try and make myself look like a Hollywood movie star. That's much more fun. I have other pastimes, diversions. I do a little riding in the park. Now that's sort of sexy with a habit on. It's essential to have style on the back of a horse. And I'm learning to tango. Now that's a positive move. It's elegant. And the music keeps me happy in my solitude. I like my lessons. I plan to be the best tango dancer in London. In my dreams, I see myself being in tune this way. You know, the tango is erotic, sexually dramatic. If only the men I loved could tango. They never can. I learn with the best. They push me into positions that 6 months ago would have been impossible. In the mirror, I look positively professional. Then there's my dieting, my singing, my telephone calls, my private views, my openings, my launches, my photography, my yoga. You know, so many addictions, it would take me all night to tell you about them. I always dress in black. Only black. Black shoes, black stockings, and black everything else.
All black, all the time.
I don't like black.
C'est très bon.
Oh mon Panama, que tu es loin pour les filles de mauvaise vie, et que la scène était jolie sous le soleil du mois de juin, sous le soleil du mois de juin.
Sebastian and Ulysses are the most important things now. Think positive. Paint the town red. Have a ball. Have a blast.
It'll be my new career. I hate girlfriends.
Look, it's better to be seen having the most enjoyable time. But don't have such a good time that you're left empty. Overdrawn.
Enjoy yourself. How can you? For fuck's sake, you just enjoy it.
I'm not broken, I don't give a damn. I'm free. I love my ex-husband. Sometimes I miss sleeping with him. I don't regret getting divorced. I had this lover. I thought about nothing but him fucking me. We kind of matched. We had fun. I hate shopping for food, and Tesco's became some sexual experience, along with everything else. And he liked his back scratched like a piggy, and we loved the same things, like learning or reading, exhibitions, music, and being bored together. I learned how to massage and how to laugh. We had a flat together. A beautiful secret flat that I decorated. I loved it there. I used to go there alone, looking after it as if it were my own. And playing at being married. In a way, it was mine. His wife knew about it. She thought it belonged to his company and that his secretary had decorated it. I worked so hard there. I put food in the fridge, I bought flowers. I made the bed. Tried to please, tried to be loved. I don't think he knew what I did. I used to think all the time about him consuming me, leaving no room for anything else. And yet there was always trouble. Trouble with his wife, trouble with me, trouble with work. Trouble, trouble, trouble.
Take it seriously, okay? Okay, you're being serious, yeah.
Oh, you stupid children.
What time is it, Mr. Wolf?
The other day, I saw him and his new girl. He asked me, "Do you think she's beautiful?" Well, she looked like a souffle, a bombe surprise. I mean, how am I supposed to answer that? The man that I was madly in love with, that I liked her. She talked about having children. He hates babies. There's always an end. He said I was fragile, like a broken plate that couldn't be mended. He said we could be friends.
I'm the domestic goddess of witchcraft. So I have a nice jug from the kitchen, porcelain, white, virginal, and a nice clean wooden broomstick. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove negativity from my house. So you just get it gently. I want to remove all negativity from this house and make all my dreams come true. I like fairy magic, you know, nice magic. You don't want to do horrible magic like... I would like to remove all negativity from this house. May all the negativity go from my house. And may all my dreams come true.
So, I visited different countries. I booked myself different hotels. I ate at different restaurants. And when I saw his name on invitations, I didn't go. My breath would remind me of his breath and mine in tune. But of course, I saw him here and there. It was as if he'd whitewashed his soul, washed it squeaky clean.
queste sacre, queste sacre antiche.
So much has happened these last few years. As I said, I didn't think life could change that much, but it has. It slips through your fingers and suddenly 10 years pass. You try to catch it, but you can't. Sometimes I want to go back. But there's no going back. I believe in love. And when you stopped falling in love, you're dead. Men don't love me now. I don't want them to love me. And the only one who loves me is my son, Sebastian. I'm his dolly. I like to bite him, pinch him, squeeze him, torture him. He brings me my pills on a silver salver, on top of a lace napkin from Belgium. But the trouble is, he looks like a vampire. As he comes towards me, his eyes sparkle as they measure me up for my coffin. I haven't changed my will yet. You can tell he's trying to poison me. But he's my son. He's sensitive. You know, like a flower is sensitive.
Also, he's sort of an investment. And I don't dump an investment.
After all, I don't want to be put in a home. So, now I have a couple of ex-husbands, 2 children, friends, and work. These are the important things now.
I live like a queen. Go to the best hotels. Eat delicious food. Meet interesting people. I listen to classical music all day. Do my photography. And get laid. I'm happy some of the time. But this happy flower is no longer in bud. This is my soul, black and sad. Sad for a life that could have been and should have been. I'm an attractive woman. Some say very attractive. They think I'm a petite, old-time movie star. I want to appear thinner than I am, an asparagus, tall and thin, instead of small and healthy. I like to appear happier than I am. I'm not. When people see me, they see my glamorous hair and luscious lips. I look stupid. I play stupid. I think it's my ace card.
Do you think I'm stupid, darlings? I bet you do. I like everyone to think I have no memory.
No thoughts and no education. But I see everything. And I notice everything around me in great detail. I have loads of friends. They protect me. They'll do anything for me. I'm loved by my ex-husbands and my ex-boyfriends. They'll do anything for me. I'm loved. I'm unable to feel love. Not really. Not enough. I'm
been told in this piece of magic to take some tea because we've got so much going on. We got to share this bowl. So I think we need a bowl, not a cup. Anyway, I'll put this in. I'll put some hot water. Do you think that looks? Do you think that's going to be easier to tell our fortune? I like to be a goddess in the kitchen and a banker in the bed.
Slow and gently.
You are my best friend.
Oh my goodness.
You're the most loyal, kind, and generous friend. I love you so very much.
A new friend is a best friend, and I love you for it.
Can you write a letter to Amanda Eliasch? I love her very much, and our intimate moments that we spent together are some of the best and the deepest in my heart. Tell her that.
Yes, we feel completely loved.
But now I'm dead. Part of my soul has died. Love's like a powder puff. One puff and it's gone. Disappears. Particles of dust and your feelings escape everywhere. I hate relationships when you start to walk 5 steps behind in boredom. It's good to change. It's good to put yourself in difficult situations. I like to move countries, stay a year or 2, then travel again.
I really think I love traveling more than anything else in the world. Arriving at strange places and seeing strange people and eating strange foods.
Look, I know I look a bit of a bitch, but I'm not. I'm fighting to compete.
To be loved. The problem is, all my dreams were destroyed long ago. My mother died last year. I just got given a painting that I liked as a child.
I can't live a normal life. I have to be free. This is my staircase to my future.
Now I just like to work. I get pleasure from art. Playing the piano badly. And singing Bach in a hollow room. I feel my body vibrate to the sound. You can put your feelings into a song. It's better than an orgasm. Though not a true artist, I am one. I have the temperament. I used to dream of living in an artist's studio. Poets and musicians. The familiarity of writers living with me. Their successes, their failures, their tidiness, their chaos. So now I just listen to music all day. But I know nothing. So tell me what I've done wrong. I have been compassionate and considerate. I have participated in remaining docile and passive. I think now I'm addicted to the passion of being disappointed. Love jumps out of me like beams of light. I have been cruel, funny, depressed, spoiled.
You learn very early on that the people you're working with are just as clever as you are.
Journey be a bit still. You get such chic shoulders.
I've never been able to give a chain to my daddy that said, I love my papa. Like the one he wore around his neck that day. But the damage was already done by then. Mummy told me that I love my father. I used to say,
That's Dada's nose and grab his chin. Fling my arms around his knees. He'd stay awake all night feeding me bottles of milk just to keep me quiet. But when he threw me across the room, she had to leave him. I had nothing more to say to her. I knew I could never love her as I should. I knew she'd only been able to tell me half the truth. I did have one last chance to see him before he died. It was in a mental hospital in America. He was singing, "Rule Britannia." And I put his hands in mine. And I realized that they were the same. I'll look for a man who has the same hands as his. And who fits mine.
I went to Marrakesh, which is 400 BC, with Belinda Carlisle, my friend, and we decided to try and keep my marriage together. And so I went and found this magic man who's very famous in the middle of the Medina, and he had this cage, and Belinda wanted to go first, and after about an hour I was banging and banging on this cage trying to get her out, but nobody was answering me. When she left the cage, she looked all bewildered and rather sort of faint and everything. And she told me that he had done some voodoo on her with some flies or something like that. And the next day she woke up and said that she was madly in love with the magic man. I said, well, you can't be. He's 86 years old. We have to get out. But the magic man had given me a recipe to collect the sperm from my husband and the sperm from my lover and mix them both together and then burn it. But when I did this, the whole of my life fell apart.
How? I ask you, how could he not recognize the map of my senses?
I love nature as long as it's over there and behind bars. I decided to go to the Northern Hill tribes in Thailand with Belinda Carlisle, who had again decided that we should travel together.
Well, it's incredible. She suggested that I should try some opium, as I've never had drugs before. I had some opium, and this made me want to fuck the guide. And she kept telling me, no, don't fuck the guide. But when I say don't fuck the guide. And then we decided to go to a sort of strip club, as you do in northern Thailand. And this man, because I'd been all over him all the morning, started to try and make love to me from behind. So I thought, we have to get out of here. So I said, go. And we ran all the way there, and we got into the car. And just as we were about to go, you know, this Thai driver was so bloody slow. He stops it like this and won't let us move. And I was terrified, actually, because I thought that we were going to be knocked off. So what do you think of this trip? Well, I tell you what I think about this morning. And all we needed was Starbucks at the end of the corner. This place is quite amazing. It's in the middle of the jungle, on the corner of Burma, Laos, and Thailand. But there are no more opium dens, so I'm a very disappointed girl, because I really wanted to go to the opium den. Happy.
my girlfriends say there are no men available, but I can tell you I've become the sort of Pied Piper of man.
So bloody cold. There's this man behind us. Really? Yeah, this man. Is he cute? No, he's not. He's too tall. But I like tall men, but not like this. It's like a tree. Yeah, it's a fucking tree. I hate men coming up behind me. Just pass, okay? I don't like it.
I can see why you're single.
Fucking cheek. I'm happy to be single.
I went to Paris. I thought I'd find myself there.
Allô, monsieur. Bonjour, comment allez-vous?
Felt I belonged. I'd been given a book project to do. Well, no one in England had given me that chance. I liked the men.
There's something about a Frenchman that no other nation can do to you.
And I suppose the women, too. There was a chicness there that England just didn't have. They looked good. They smelled good. No one in England made any effort. No high heels. No waist. I remembered my grandmother's words. Always change for dinner, brush your hair, put on your makeup, make an effort. Don't be like your mother. Be interesting. Don't give up. These words suited Paris. I never did learn French. The men learnt English from me.
My soul belongs to Paris, to Frenchmen, to their shitty behaviour. I was lucky enough to have an affair with one in this amazing apartment belonging to Tamara de Lempicka.
To the Eiffel Tower, to the history, to Marie Antoinette and Tamara de Lempicka, to so much. And then there was the incredible lovemaking, being fucked over the toaster.
It makes me laugh because I have this friend. He thinks that I had incredible sex on this bed. Well, I did, but I didn't too. Not quite the way he thinks. You see, I'm a romantic. I had told my previous boyfriend the night before, if you talk to me like that again, I will find a man who likes Mozart. And indeed, the next day I'm sitting in the train and there's a man in front of me who's got the score of Mozart in front of him. And I think I shall be my most charming today. And I was.
I went to my lover where the streets all looked the same. There was a cafe in front and behind a large wooden door. I was told he would never leave his wife. I covered his mouth in my hand. I've heard it all before. So many times. Please shut up, I thought. In my other relationship, I'm trapped by the stupidity of this remark. I saw her photograph, several years old, a faded print. Despite the proximity to his house, there was no sign of a woman. Clearly, it was his hidden paradise. Eyes open, we kissed. I thought I was going to faint. I could feel his breath, his life, his heart. And he asked me, how long? How long can you stay? I said, half an hour, otherwise you'll have to marry me. He said, would you like to marry me? I couldn't answer. I couldn't. Because in every sense I would have loved to. In any case, he knew the answer. I knew I was loved more than ever before. Differently. Differently. We've only known each other a month. Yet I've known him forever.
Like the leaves turning brown, I had to leave this most romantic time of my life. I gave this magical artist studio to someone else. Some things are not kitchen sink drama and meant for dust and lost in the wind. Now I wish every bit of luck to the woman living there. I hope she makes wonderful love like I did there, meeting a dark stranger in lifts and coffee shops.
I remember when I was about 15 years ago, I used to carry around handkerchiefs everywhere I went with knots in them, and knots to my beloved, so that somehow every time I thought about them, I'd be feeling the knot. You put it in like this, you do a little knot to your beloved, and you think lovely things. I'll keep the memories.
Hiya! Hiya, Urt, how are you?
Which can't be taken away. The show must go on. A rabbi told me I'd be okay. I have a star in my hand. They'll bring success to any man. And luckily to me too. I know it because I've seen it all before. I can see the beginning, the middle, and the end. Now I'm able to think of somebody, and they come into my life the very next day, or even the next moment. The good news is, I've met another man. He's a friend, a gun, and a bomb. Tarot cards. I might be one of the best readers in the whole of England. So I sort of shuffle them to my age, which is a horrendous number these days. And then I go like this. That I have very good men with fertile imaginations around me, working hard. One has slipped away, and unfortunately there may be an injustice at the end. Should I find out what the injustice is?
And then we're going to make a heart-shaped cake, which you're going to decorate together. And you can dedicate it to somebody.
Oh, God of the Greenwood, please, please, shut up. He doesn't realize I got it, but I got it. Just like he's bugging me, I got his sperm. This came from Katishka, the Russian hooker.
Drop. One for him.
Pheromones.
His piercing green eyes will never con me again. He should have given up earlier. I would have killed for him. If you're going to have a con man, you might as well have a very good-looking one. The most depressing day of the year is Valentine's Day.
My ex-husband said, one of your boyfriends costs £400 a month. So what does a tall, dark, handsome one cost you?
You can't get your money, darling. You have to be charming.
You get 100 grand by being nice.
You're a con man, darling. Where's my telephone?
I have no idea.
I just put it there. I'm not going mad.
It's where you put it.
I put it here.
Has been
You're
dead
a
all
real
the time.
shitbag.
You don't need a telephone. You need help.
My telephone, can you? You did. You took my telephone.
Comme ils disent en anglais, hein? I need the money. Darling,
What's the problem?
should get you some new shoes, no?
Do you love me? You promise you love me?
Of course.
You love me? You love me? Promise me you love me.
Amanda, what's this? Why would you be in a magazine like this?
Why not? I thought you'd be happy with it.
You don't need this.
Are you jealous or something? What's your problem? I don't get it. I wish I did. You can't come here.
Why?
You can't come here if you don't make love. Did you see that? Oh my God.
I'm so very free. I have wings, wings of a butterfly. I think we've come to the end of the journey. As Genghis Khan says, it's not how many breaths you take, but the moments that take your breath away.
cafes, bars, nightclubs. Always in the move, searching for the one who danced this melody.
Touche-moi ici, embrasse-moi doucement, partage mon amour, son mon désir. Touche-moi ici, embrasse-moi doucement, partage mon amour, son désir.
Dance, I said, and she danced for me. She was intoxicating. I was hooked on the barb of her cruelty. She played me like a marionette.